Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverley and it is lovely to see you today. In this video we're going to be exploring how you know what kind of witch you are. So grab that cup of tea, let's get to it. So for myself, I've done a video, I think it was a video, yes, I did a video not too long back talking about how I am an elemental witch. So I'll leave a link to that video down below so you can go and check it out. But for me, that was it. I wanted to work with the elements. I wanted to incorporate them in my spells. I wanted to, to my mind, that's what everything's made of. So everybody's an elemental witch. But then the more I explore, the more I grow, the more I change. I really feel like I'm in a transition at the moment. And so that no longer feels right for me. And you might be in the same place. You might have perfectly known exactly what kind of witch you were, and now you're just a bit unsure if it still fits. Or you might be a new witch, just wanting to figure out, how do you know what kind of witch you are? So that's what we're talking about today. Don't forget, if you are into this sort of content, as well as vintage fashion and the occasional disability awareness, you can click the subscribe button to become part of the butterfly family. We would absolutely love to have you, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave me a like and a comment. But let's get to it, shall we? You know what kind of witch you are because you look at what you enjoyed as a child. And when I think back, the things that I loved doing was being around plants. I used to love playing in the garden. My very, very favourite thing to do was collect stones. I've always collected stones. And so when I first started out, I thought, oh, I loved collecting stones. There's pictures of me as a very, very small child with a basket full of stones. I've always loved collecting them and shells and things. And then when you think about it, you're like, well, that means I must be a crystal witch, right? So first of all, I thought I was a crystal witch. I collected loads of crystals, and now they're not a part of my practice at all. I don't really use them in my day-to-day. They're just around my house and they make the house feel nice. They bring a lovely energy to the home. Some are used for protection, some are used just to look pretty, but I don't really reach for a crystal in every opportunity possible. So we realise then I am not a crystal witch. So it doesn't always follow that one leads to two, but this can give you a good little key into what you used to be interested in before the world got hold of you, before you started to be socially programmed at school, before you started watching TV shows that changed who you were. Who you are naturally were the things that you were drawn to and you enjoyed doing as a small child. So that is the first step. Have a think back, ask relatives, ask friends, what were the things that you loved as a child? The next thing to look at is the books that you're naturally drawn to. So when you're in a bookshop, what are the things that you always go and buy? What are the things that you're excited to read? When I thought I was a elemental witch, it was things like this. These are the Llewellyn Elements of Witchcraft. So they have one for fire, one for air, and one for earth. These are great books, by the way. Go and check them out if you are looking to get into learning how to bring elements. And they're like little encyclopedias with lists of all the different ways that you can bring it into your practice. So they are really, really good books. Definitely recommend those. However, I don't find myself drawn to elemental sorts of things. I am kind of, not as in-depth and specifically into elemental magic as books like that. Nowadays, I find myself reading books about herbs. Books like this can be found very easily in charity shops and thrift shops. You can get them secondhand online. Books about herbs can be found anywhere. Anything about folklore about herbs, that sort of thing. Really, really useful to witches. Foraging. I live in a town that is surrounded by forest. I would love to learn to forage and to grow the plants that I find out just in the world around me. And this is a really good book. I think it came out recently, and if you would like me to do a book review video about this, I think I will anyway, but definitely let me know down below if you'd like me to do that. And then the last one is Year of the Witch, which is about connecting to not only the wheel of the year but the seasons and how they affect us and how our magic changes through the year. Really good book. So yeah, these books are great. They're amazing, and I turn to them quite often to find what things I should be grabbing for certain spells. I'm now more drawn to how to garden. I've started a little herb garden. If you'd like a video about that, definitely let me know. But I'm finding myself drawn to more growing herbs, and I would love to look into how to use those herbs to make tinctures maybe, or especially tea. Tea is something that's really special to me, and I think drinking and taking in the benefits in a potion form, which tea is a potion, that would be incredible. So that's the sort of avenue I'm going down at the moment. So does that mean I'll be a tea witch? I don't know. I am looking into learning how to tea leaf read, but also, you know, just plants in general. Does it mean I'll be a plant witch? I don't know. I'm kind of transitioning at the moment. But if that tells you anything, it'll tell you that we're always in flux. So looking at the sorts of books that excite you when you see them at Amazon, when you're in a bookshop, the sorts of books that you're like, oh, let me have a look at that. Those books are the ones to have a look at to see what kind of witch you are. The next thing is to just generally look at the sort of work that you love doing when you're at your altar. Do you love talking and communicating with your gods? Do you have gods? Are you excited to do candle magic? Are you excited to make little potion bottles? Do you love making your own beauty products and doing glamour magic? Whatever it is that you enjoy doing in your craft the most can give a big signal as to the sort of work that you should be doing, and also the sort of witch that you are. For example, if you're constantly working with water, if you're constantly using baths and teas and you're constantly working with water, you could be a water witch, aka a mermaid. But yeah, it's important to look at these things. They're all little clues, and as anything with magic, I know we all want that big oomph moment, and it can happen in magic, but most of the time when you're a witch, magic comes in the small things, in the little hints, the energy shifts. And as we grow and change, the more we learn, the more we see the sorts of things that we enjoy. Those are the little subtle hints that come together to tell you what kind of witch you are. But remember that things change. We constantly change as humans. We constantly change as people. We're always learning, we're growing, we're aging, we're having new experiences all the time. I mean, the spells that you do as a single 19-year-old will be completely different to the spells that you do as a mother of 3 in your 50s. And you have to remember that you are constantly changing and in flux. And so although you might always consider yourself a whatever witch, whatever that thing is, it might change a little bit over time. And so it's good to check in with yourself every now and again. Just ask these questions. What did I enjoy as a child? What books am I reading at the moment? And what makes me most excited to do at my altar? These things will give you clues, but it's all about remembering to give yourself grace and to remember that transition and change is good. It means that you're growing. It means your energy is shifting. It means that time is changing, and that's a good thing in this world. So don't let that title hold you back. Don't let it keep you in the one lane. I think too often we think, oh, I've got to announce to the world what kind of witch I am, and it's fun to say, oh, I'm a such and such witch, but it's important to not just stay in one lane. We have to constantly push ourselves, step out of our comfort zone, try new things. It's so important to try new things as often as possible, because you might love it. Check out what other witches are doing here on YouTube. Check out what people are doing on TikTok. Take it with a pinch of salt, because a lot of stuff on TikTok is performative and not actual spells, so do be aware of that. I think it's important to remember these things and to always give yourself room to breathe, room to step outside and try new things. For me, that's kind of what being an elemental witch was all about. It was about giving myself a title so I wasn't overwhelmed, but also leaving the door open a little bit to try other things, to work with the elements in different ways. And I found that to be the very best way to learn and grow. And now I'm stepping kind of further and narrowing down my scope a little bit. It feels really good. It feels nice to realise that I'm getting older in my craft. I know a bit more than I did know, and maybe I'm not so into the being so wide open. I want to narrow it down a bit, but it's good to do, but don't get claustrophobic in your craft. Definitely keep spreading those wings. Broom. Spread those brooms. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to let me know down below by leaving it a cheeky little like. This lets me know that you enjoyed it, but it also lets YouTube know that you enjoyed it and will help them to share out my videos. It helps me grow. Also, while you're down there, why not hit the comment button? Let me know your thoughts and feelings. Let me know if you know what kind of witch you are. Let me know the answers that you have to these questions I've posed for you. But definitely let me know down in the comments, because I absolutely love talking to you all. And last but certainly not least, if you like my content and you like my face, don't forget to head down below, click that subscribe button, ring that little bell so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here Mondays and Fridays. My health permitting, I always do my very best to be here with you every week, twice a week. I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.